know that he really knows what he's doing and that it's no use arguing, because if an engineer is working on something, he might be locked up in a room working on the sound of a hi-hat for hours and hours and hours, and you just don't know what the hell he's doing. But in
what
the
the result is.
when you hear the result, you say, yeah, okay, now I know why you spent
so
half a day.
So you just trust him after a certain point.
Yes,
you just sit there and say,
so
okay.
just let go, because otherwise there would be a lot of arguing, and we like to save time. So and I can always throw something in if I think I don't think it's going the right direction. But since we always talk about it before, I know I can trust him. So.
Excellent. I noticed that your progression, it seems like you're moving into a more like goth rock direction, if I dare say. And you started out, we're using kind of genres here, which I hate to pigeonhole any band into, but do you think that you will leave the neofolk martial scene behind completely, or? Well,
I don't think we will ever leave that behind completely. I think we'll evolve, and there might be, maybe we'll take a direction that some hardcore neofolk fans won't like, but it will always make sense to us. I mean, on this record we've kind of left that field as well. There's still a lot of elements of that genre, but we don't like to be pigeonholed anyway, and if you have released like 3 records like that, you want to change things anyway. But we have a sort of natural evolution, and well, with the last album we sounded a bit more poppy like the one before. I think the new one, it has its poppy moments, but it's also quite heavy. It's not an easy record to listen to all the time. So what I'm saying is that it's not like a light dish. It's not pop.
Right.
So, and we already have a new direction we want to head in, so that will be different as well. So we're not going for the pop thing.
Right. So who would you say briefly are some of your influences? And you said you came from a background of playing some punk and such. Who would you say some of your influences are?
Yeah, well, in a way for Rome I realized more and more that the main influences are the singer-songwriters that I've been listening to forever. I've been into people like Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave, Tom Waits ever since I can think. Yes, I remember when we were, my father, he was a theatre director, and we were touring a lot when I was a kid. We were touring a lot throughout Europe to play those festivals as an actor and all that. But so we had a lot of long trips, and he would put on his old tapes that he had copied from his, like the real old tape, the reels and all that.
Reel to reel?
Yeah. Which those tapes were copied from the radio.
Oh my gosh.
I'm talking about 50s, 60s, it wasn't like MP3s or anything.
Wow.
So, and he would have those old Leonard Cohen songs from the 60s on, and I was fascinated by that voice and everything. And there's still records like that I really listen to like every year. They're still very close to me. Every year there's a couple of bands that I discover and I really like, but most of them I forget about after a couple of months.
Right.
It's still, for me, still the old heroes, and the more I'm into Rome, the more I realize that.
Yeah, I love your lyrics because they're so complex and thought-provoking and even nebulous. What do you feel? Do you want people to actually understand your lyrics, and keep it true to the intent that you created, or are you content if the listener creates their own interpretation?
Well, yeah, I think everyone should see whatever he wants to see in it. I think there's something you can't control anyway. I mean, if you want to avoid that people misunderstand it, there's ways to go about that. And there's always things you can say in interviews or whatever if you don't like what people put into it. But in general, our lyrics have not been misinterpreted yet. So no, I have my own vision. I know what I want to say and how I want to say it. The words are very, very important to me, but the music also has to transport that thought, and I think it does.
I think it does, definitely. And like we say, music is the universal language,
exactly.
So I think it transverses all the different dialects and languages that we have, and I think you do it wonderfully. So you are a self-described loner. You say that. You've said that. I've seen that in a few interviews, right? Do you believe that it's truly possible to be alone in this modern world?
Well, I'm not so much of a loner anymore, but I'm a loner in spirit, I guess. I've been together with a person for a long time now, actually, but she's just the same kind of loner as I am.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm lonely, but not alone.
Ah, I see. Well, that's good. It's nice you have a partner in crime, so to speak, or a partner in loneliness, and you understand each other.
Yes, perfectly. And I have many friends that I've had since forever, also, and so I'm not that much of a loner.
Okay. I guess maybe you're warming up a bit.
Yeah, but it's always this image, like, are you a loner? And I'm not a party guy. I don't like going to clubs for hours dancing or whatever. I prefer staying home and having a beer with friends.
Right. All right. And I'm really curious about Luxembourg now. I don't think I know of any other bands that have come out of Luxembourg. How's the music scene there? Do you recommend any bands coming out of there?
Well, there's hardly any scene there. There's bands from all genres, but there's not a real scene of anything. I mean, we have punk bands and we have metal bands and we have whatnot, but there's never like 5 bands of each genre.
Right.
It's very small. I mean, I have like 500,000 people living in that
Right,
country,
right.
and that's it. It's like not even half a city. But I mean, it's. If you're into music and you want to make something out of it, it's a small place, and you just, every time I'm there, I just want to get out again.
Oh, really?
It's so small.
What is the geography and the climate like, and does it play any role in the music? I know that a lot of people draw inspiration from nature, from their environment. Does Luxembourg itself play any role for you?
Not from the environment, because, like I said, it's so small. We don't have any real mountains, but it's not completely flat, not like the Netherlands. The climate is a bit like in Western Germany. It's not that far.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing about Luxembourg that is, or might be seen as important for us, is the thing with the languages. We have 3 official languages. I have friends from everywhere, and I've had those since forever. And it's not because we've traveled so much now, but you grow up in a city where, with the mailman you speak German, and then you go to your bar that's owned by 2 people. One of them speaks Luxembourg, the other one's French, and you have friends who speak Italian and whatnot. And so I think that is maybe explaining some, why we put so many languages on our records, because that's just how our life is. We didn't translate those things because you can't translate the poetry of a language. So I think that's the thing about Luxembourg, what makes Rome Luxembourgish in a way.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the new release. Again, one more time, it's
Flowers from Exile.
All right, and we'll definitely, when we get it here on RL Apocalypse, share some music with you. Hopefully we'll have it very soon, sooner than September, I believe. I hope.
I hope so, yeah.
Yes. So I want to thank you very much, Jerome, for joining us here on the show. Are there any bands that you get to see at Wave Gothic Treffen? I know you're only here for a short time,
yeah. So... Well, as usual, we have to leave to work. But... No, Patrick has got a production in his studio tomorrow, so that's why we're leaving, because I'm the driver today.
So tonight's the only night that you get to have a good time here at Wave Gothic Treffen?
Yes. Well, there's many friends tonight, so it will be a very nice night, and so maybe it's best to leave after that, because
Excellent.
It can't get any better.
Well, it's been a real pleasure again. Thank you for joining me, Jerome, on RL Apocalypse.
Thank you very much.